welcome to Wyoming Knits. My name is Jenny Lee, and this is my channel where I like to talk about all my knitting adventures. You can find me on Instagram as Jenny Lee Knits, and you can find me on Ravelry as Jenny Lee S Knits. If you are new here, thank you for stopping in and checking this out, and if you are returning, thank you for coming back. I'm coming to you today from Southwest Wyoming, where I live with my husband, our daughter, and our little Yorkie, Dax. So, I finished my Autumn League pullover. This is my sweater that I made from the Knit Picks City Tweed in the Morning Glory color. I ordered 10 little balls. These are 50-gram balls of yarn to make this sweater, and this is what I have left. I only used just a little bit of this one, and so when I ordered the yarn for this, I ordered 10 balls, so it took me 8 and a little more. If you order 10 skeins from Knit Picks, they'll give you a discount code for 10% off. So I ordered 10 thinking, oh, that'll be enough for this sweater. It does have the little cute little cross thing on there. This the sweater was designed by Two of Wands. She's got the Winter League, the Autumn League. I think there's a summer something league, and then a spring league. And the spring one, I think, has a hoodie on it, so I'll have to try that one. I know I like the Winter League pullover and the Autumn League pullover. I've made 3 of each so far. These are just nice, comfy, almost like a sweatshirt type sweater that you put it on and it's just nice and cozy. So that was my first finished object since last time. The next finished objects are all socks. I'm participating in summer sock camp this year, and so I have been really working on lots and lots of socks. So the first one I finished, I used a sock set from Happy Mermaid Yarn. This was their 80s movie. I need a 80s movie Footloose. I Need a Hero. They did last year they did a movie inspired sock set, and I got the Labyrinth one that I've shown before, and I got the Footloose one. And so for this one I chose to do the Rhinebeck Roomies pattern by Kay from the Crazy Sock Lady. This is a fun little textured pattern. I did 20 rounds of 2x2 rib, and then I started in the pattern. I did 15 rounds of pattern, or 15 repeats of the pattern. Then I did my heel flap, heel turn in the contrast color, and then I did a rounded toe. I cast on 56 stitches for me, and now I have a new pair of socks for me. This one was my 5th pair for summer sock camp, and these now get to go in the drawer for me to wear. My next finished object was a pair of Knit Picks Felici socks in the olive juice color. This was from fall of 2022. I do have both socks. I cast on 64 stitches, and I used Stroll in the Forest Heather color. for the cuff, the heel, and the toe. I just did a vanilla sock, heel flap with slip stitches, and a rounded toe. These ones are a gift pair of socks. These ones are going to go to my mother-in-law. I made her a pair for Christmas and she said she really liked them, so I made her another pair. These were pair number 6 for Summer Sock Camp and pair number 1 for Knit All the Felici 2023 from Lisa of 72 Stitches and Knit All the Yarn podcast. She's having a cal where you just knit all the Felici, knit, crochet, socks, hats, anything you want as long as it has Felici in it as the main part. And then my next finished object was another pair of socks. These are also a gift. I gotta put them on the blockers. I only have one set of blockers. So I do have both done. These are pair number 7 for Summer Sock Camp. I used the Big Sky yarn in the color Sugar Plum Fairy. And these are for my niece. I used the String of Lights pattern by Sock Witchery. Cast on 64 stitches, 2x2 cuff. I do about 20 rounds for the cuff, and then I went into the pattern, slip stitch, heel flap, and a rounded toe on this one also. I let her pick out this color, and so I worked on these, and I think I started them about a week or two ago, about 2 weeks ago, and finished them this week. So that is all my finished objects for this podcast. I do have some works in progress. I cast off this sweater and cast on 2 more. I've got some socks and some blankets. So let's get into works in progress. My first one is living in a Twinkle and Twilight bag. I am knitting the Tolsta Tee by the Crayabea. I am still on the Raglan Increases. I had this yarn left over from my first autumn leg pullover that I knit for myself. It is the Comfy Cotton Blend by Lion Brand in the Cloud 9 color. And so I had this whole thing and a little bit extra, and I was like, oh, we'll do a Tolsta Tee out of that and see how comfortable that one is. This yarn is very comfortable. I love my other autumn leg pullover, and so that's why I chose to try to use up the rest of this one. So I'm still doing my increases, and we'll see how far I get before next time. My next work in progress, I've started another sweater. I cast on the Whitmore sweater by Amy Loudon. She is from the Tayloress Studios, and I am working on the yoke still. I was a little bit farther than this, and I messed up some of the lace section. I was reading the instructions for the center decrease, and it was looking odd to me. I was like, that doesn't quite look right. So then I saw a video, and I was doing the decrease wrong, and that's why it looked weird. And then I was like, oh, nobody will notice. And I just kept knitting away. And then it was almost bedtime, and I was trying to get to the end of the row so I could just mark off on my chart where I was and put it down. And I had noticed that I messed up somewhere in the lace and I wasn't able to figure out where it was or how I did it. And I was like, well, I messed up on the decreases. I should just rip it out, go back, fix it so it looks like it's supposed to. And so I went back and I did fix it. So the center double decrease, it said slip 2 stitches as if to knit. And so I slipped the first one, I slipped the second one, knit, and then bring the stitches over this, slip them over the one that you just knit. And it looked weird. And then when I watched the video, it was slip them both at the same time as if to knit. I was slipping one, then slipping the next one. And so when you're doing the center double decrease, make sure you slip them both at the same time, or it will look weird. So I've got probably about 10 more rounds on this chart, and then we'll see how much further I need to go to split for sleeves. But I decided to use my Swish DK in the Marble Heather for this one, and I think it's turning out really nice. You can see the lace. It'll be a nice fall sweater after school starts again. And those are the 2 sweaters I've been working on. I have 2 pairs of socks that I'm going to be working on over the next little while. I have my other niece's socks that I've been working on. These are also in the String of Lights by Sock Witchery. It's living in my cute little feather bag from 2AM Designs. And I'm using a yarn that I got from Zen Yarn Garden off of Zulily. And I'm really liking how all of the colors are working together in here. I'm usually not a dark, moody red, but I'm really enjoying these. So this is still just the first sock, and I'll just keep working on those until they get finished. My next sock is my Desert Vista Dye Work socks for the month of July. I have them in this bag from Fancy Boy Designs. And so far, I have just caked up the yarn. I wanted to finish these other socks, and now that they're finished, I can get going on these. These are the Desert Vista Dye Works in Zombody Needs a Cocktail. And so these ones have to be started and finished in the month of July to count for the Desert Vista Dye Works knit along. And so these will get cast on hopefully sometime today. I use a 9-inch circular needle. Most of the time I use a US size 0. 56 stitches for myself, 64 when I'm knitting for others. And so those are all my socks that I'm going to be working on in the next couple of weeks. I do still have some blankets that I'm working on. The first one you've seen is the Bits and Bobs blanket. I did put a little bit of progress on this one. This one is by Kay Jones of the Bakery Bears, and it's written for fingering weight held double, and so that gives you a DK, and I thought I would use this Lion Brand Mandala Ombre, and I just have lots of random colors that I picked up every time I would go to Joann's or Walmart, and I would be like, oh, it's so soft, and I love those colors, and then I didn't quite know what to make with it, so I chose the Bits and Bobs blanket, and it's just living in just a Walmart bag. And then I started another gift knit. This one doesn't have to be finished until February, but I started a blanket for my daughter last summer, and I didn't get it finished until February, so I thought maybe I better start on this one now. This one is the Painting Honeycombs blanket by Stephen West, and I'm also using the Lion Brand Mandala. This one is going to be the Mantra and Serene. Let's see. And so I'm going to work these up together. And so the blue is going to be the main color, and the pink orange is going to be the behind color. And we'll see how long it takes to get this one finished. I'm hoping to get this one finished by the end of summer, so it's all done and I don't have to worry about getting it finished. I asked her if I could make her a blanket for her birthday, and she said yes, and so that's what I'm working on. This other blanket is also going to be a gift for another person that I know, but that one, it's okay if I just get it done whenever I need to get it done. But the Painting Honeycombs needs to be done by February. And so that's everything I've been working on. I thought I would share with you how I track what I'm knitting and how I keep track of what I finished. I like to write things down, but I don't like to plan. It seems like every time I plan and say, oh, I'm going to work on this and this and this and this, and this is how I'm going to work on it. I'm going to do 30 minutes a day on this one. I'm going to work on this one today until I get this far. That never gets done. It's the last thing I want to work on if I make a plan to work on it. So I'm going to share with you what I do for my plans. I have this Happy Planner, just notebook. I have this cute little case that I got to go with it. I just put my pencils and my markers and my highlighters in here, and then we've got some paper in here, a to-do list. But I find that when I make a to-do list, nothing on the to-do list gets done unless it's already done and I write it down and then check it off. So we've got some dividers. I was going to track everything I did, yarn in, yarn out, but I stopped doing that. But I did start in January. I wrote down all of my whips, and then I wrote down my new cast-ons, and then I wrote down what I finished at the end of the month. And so we'll go to July, and this is all of the things that I am working on, or that is on the needles right now as of July. And then I just mark off everything that I got finished. I also have on my iPad and my phone, I have the Google Keep app, and I just make these cute little check boxes. So July, I have all the check boxes. I can mark them off, and then down at the bottom it shows me what has been completed. And so if I keep this in two places, then I remember what I am working on, and then I have my jigsaw puzzle blanket that I'm working on. And at the end of the year, I can go back and look and see how many things I finished, what I was working on, when they got finished, and then that'll kind of motivate me or show me all of the things that I made throughout the year. So thank you for joining me today, and until next time, happy knitting!